All right. Oh. Well, I'm here, but my camera's not. 1 second. Okay. Ooh. There we go. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. So like, here's the deal. My dog likes to snuggle up under my desk. He's so super cute. His name is Peter, but he likes to like lay next to all of the power cords because they're warm. I'm not exactly sure how to break him of this obvious dangerous habit, but we're doing our best. But he lays next to it and like he'll unplug my camera sometimes, so that's what happened. Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me once again on the It Gets Better channel. We just saw each other not too long ago. I'm so excited to be here again today. This is going to be my last stream on the It Gets Better channel as an ambassador for now. But this has just been amazing. Thank y'all for letting me come here and play games and talk with you about all different things that surround being queer. It has truly been a gift and a blessing. And I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to the It Gets Better project, just from everything that they do in general. This has been an amazing opportunity, and please, 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 anybody that is in here that is not following It Gets Better, please, please, please give them a follow. They are an incredible organization. They started way back in 2010 and have become just a multimedia global platform that is able to give help and resources and hope and information and education to young LGBTQIA2 plus youth all around the world. It's truly is an amazing, amazing project. So please, 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 if you're not following them, give them a follow. So the plan today was to play The Sims. I had everything ready. Because I am getting ready to start the 100 baby challenge on my page and getting everything ready for that. And then an update happened. So I updated my game today, and because I use a lot of custom content, something broke. So I had been trying for the past like a while to get it up and running, and could not do so, unfortunately, at the last minute. So we are switching gears over to play some Fortnite, but I'm still very excited. We're still gonna have some good talks. We are actually going to be talking a bit about being queer and neurodivergent today, and kind of like what that can mean. I'm going to be giving a lot of examples of what that looks like in my life as a person who is both queer and neurodivergent, touching on things like the validity of self-diagnosis and just what it can be like, again, with those multiple marginalizations, like there's already hardships with being queer, right? There's already hardships with being part of the LGBT Q plus community, and then there's also unique hardships that also go along with being neurodivergent. And I think it's really important that we take a look at what those things look like when they go hand in hand, because there are many, many, many of us within this community that are also neurodivergent, and sometimes with like multiple different facets of being neurodivergent as well, because there's a lot of things that go hand in hand. And so I think that's important, because it's one of those things that tends to not get talked about enough. I think it's one of those things that still faces a lot of discrimination even within the queer space, and it's just an added layer that comes with its own, like I said, its own unique set of things. So So that's what we're gonna be chatting about today. I just loaded up Fortnite. I'm super excited. Also, before I switch to our gameplay, chat, do you have your water? Do you have your snacks? Take your meds. Get cozy. We're gonna do some pew pews. There we go. Bam, Fortnite. Also, for those of you, I'll do a little introduction for those of you that do not know me. Hi, hello, my name is lookitslyrica. My pronouns are they, them, and she. I am a variety content creator here on Twitch. I also create content on other platforms, on TikTok and Instagram as well. If you are wanting to follow me a little bit more and see what I get up to when I'm not over here on this page, you can always find me on my Twitch, Twitter, or TikTok at /lookitslyrica. And you could also find those at any time by doing ! Lookitslyrica in the chat. I also want to say thank you to our moddies for being here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for keeping us safe. And another important command that we also have on this channel is the !donate command, which can be pulled up by anybody. I'll go ahead and show everybody what it looks like. You do !donate, and that will also bring up info about donating to the It Gets Better project through Tiltify, which is another amazing charity platform. So if you're wanting to throw some doll hairs towards It Gets Better program, which I highly recommend if you have the ability to do so, you can do that by doing !donate. I am very excited for all of the Attack on Titan stuff. Ooh, they brought some alien stuff back. Serenade is new. Cool. They got some new stuff. I will definitely be getting this pack later. And maybe some of the Coachella stuff too. Also, as always, if you are wanting to share your experiences, if you feel like there's something that resonates with you with the topic that we are talking about today, or even if it's just something like, well, oh hey, I experienced that too, or hey, I think I'm also neurodivergent, please feel free to join in on the conversation. Also feel free to lurk, whatever makes you comfortable. I'm so glad that you're here with us. Okay, I got my controller plugged in. I think we're ready to go. Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of zero builds first. So where does my story with being neurodivergent begin? Well, birth. But also, when was it? There definitely was a period of time when I was younger, before I was an adult, where I knew that my brain worked a little differently than a lot of my peers. I didn't quite know how to put it into words at that time. I always had known that I struggled with certain things, certain social aspects, certain aspects of like day-to-day life, day-to-day tasks. I'll use the word diagnosed because this is something that they do or did as a gifted child, which is interesting to me because that's also kind of within the same frame of being neurodivergent, but also it was 20 years ago. And I think because I excelled academically in a lot of things, and because I got favorable, like I was reading very young and things like that, A lot of the things that I struggled in were sadly overlooked in favor of those other things that were seen as excelling. And I definitely wasn't a person where at a young age I was able to kind of voice how that felt or what that was. I think that I grew up kind of being told and being talked about in with them using terms as like, oh, you know, like they're just shy or she's just a little awkward or things like that. And so I didn't know what else to do other than embody those things, because I didn't know that there was, you know, any such thing as being neurodivergent at that point. And another aspect of that was because there was nobody, well, according to my parents, because no other like specialists or doctors or teachers ever mentioned anything, which is, even though I clearly was struggling, they just assumed that there was really nothing kind of going on. And then I began like really struggling going into like junior high school, and just didn't have an answer for what was going on. And so I unfortunately ended up kind of growing up feeling like I was just kind of like bad, not that I was a bad person, not that I was a bad human being, but that I was bad at being a human being. Like I was bad at doing things that seemed so natural and easy to others, and I didn't understand a lot of neurotypical social things, and thought that was just, you know, oops, thought that was kind of just like something that I struggled with for whatever reason, or that it was my fault. It wasn't until going into the first part of our COVID lockdown that I was exposed to what it means in its fullness to be neurodivergent, even what that term was. And then, you know, learning what a spectrum things like autism truly are, and how it, like autism, and how like how autism and ADHD can also affect people very, very differently, and just the sheer amount of eye-opening things that, I don't know why it's taking so long, but the sheer amount of like eye-opening things that began to happen, of like, oh, well, that explains this instance in my life. Well, that explains that instance in my life. That explains why I've continuously struggled with this thing, trying to force my brain and myself into this neurotypical mindset and way of being that just wasn't what was best for how I needed to function and how my brain functioned. And at first, when the idea came across to me, through talking with some peers, that I could possibly be on the autism spectrum, my immediate answer to that, you know, is, oh, no way. You know, there was a lot of internalized ableism and like preconceived ideas that and preconceived ideas around that I needed to spend a lot of time going through with myself and breaking down, and reevaluating, because no, it wasn't impossible that I was, you know, potentially autistic. And, you know, the more that that idea kind of like went around in my brain, and the longer I was able to sit with it, because there was quite a few emotions at first. Like I remember being like confused. I remember being going through like these different kind of stages of anger too. And I think a lot of that anger was purely from like, well, I'm getting to the point now where through doing my own assessments and through doing a lot of research, coming to the point to saying like, I'm actually pretty sure that I am autistic. And we will actually get into self-diagnosis too, because I feel that that is incredibly valid, especially being queer, and you know, like other marginalities on top of that. But thank you so much for that follow. Welcome on in. And so once I had gotten to this point where I was like, I'm pretty sure that I am autistic. There was definitely a period where I was upset, that like upset for the for child me that didn't get access to resources, didn't have an answer for the way you know, the way that I did things differently than a lot of other people. I just want to find this person. And like it would, I felt like, I don't know, almost not like something was like taken from me, but like I didn't get to experience what it was like getting my support needs met in that way. And there was like a period of anger and mourning that happened where I had to be like, you know, yeah, I wasn't able to get those things. But because of where I'm at now, and because I am at the place where I can, you know, pretty definitively say I am neurodivergent and not just, and that I also think that I'm autistic, like having those resources now is also super, super important. But that's how it came about really for me. And, you know, continuing to talk with peers, continuing, and then going from there, starting to implement things in my own personal life that, you know, like those same resources that I wish I would have had as a younger person. I started implementing those things in my life just to see, and also talking with a therapist that was like, well, I remember my therapist saying like, if you feel that these things would benefit your life, would benefit your ability to function, why not try it out? Why not just try it out and see how you feel? The worst that's going to happen is you're going to say, this doesn't work for me, and you try something else. And that was told to me when I was still going through a period of, well, I'm angry if this is true. Get off there. I'm angry if this is true, because that means that there was so much that could have been done that wasn't done, and so much that was missed that could have been caught. And, you know, why did it have to go this way? I don't want that shotgun. And so I did those things. I started implementing those things, and guess what? You know, not all of those things worked, but a lot of them did. And I found myself breathing. I found myself able to do things and get into routines and take care of myself better in a way that I had never been able to do, and didn't know how to empower myself to do those things. And so it's been about, hi Amanda, welcome in. It's been about almost 2 years since then, about a year and a half, 2 years. And I can say that how I am able to communicate with people, how I am able to communicate my support needs has all changed for the better. Really breaking down how much I had been masking for so many years, and what that meant, and being able to then kind of deal with those like kind of traumatic events in a way, you know, not having those answers and things like that. So yeah, that was how like me finding out that I was neurodivergent came about. And that looks different for everybody. And how I speak about my neurodivergencies, because I think that I also possibly have ADHD, which is not uncommon that those two things can go hand in hand with people. But being able to implement those things in my life has truly made my life better in many, many ways. But also, like I said, that looks different in everybody. Hey, buddy. Oh man. Oh, they had a legend. I was wondering why my health went down so fast. They somehow didn't even barely crack their shield. But yeah, that looks different for everybody. How one person with autism, like how their autism manifests and what that looks like for them is going to be completely different than what it looks like for me, for everybody. And that's why it is such a wide spectrum. Now, like, how does that come into play with being queer? Well, I'm glad you've asked. First of all, there's actually quite a few studies showing the prevalence of neurodivergency within the queer community, within the LGBTQ plus communities, and how for some people, and this is true for myself, my brain has always had a hard time wrapping around the concept of the very, like, you know, heteronormative kind of, this is what it means to be this gender, this is what it means to be, like, that is such a societal construct that it's hard for me to, like, put clear defining factors on that as a kid. So, like, especially in being queer, it was just like, well, this is just like me being me, and we all just deserve to just be us. Like, it was really hard for me to put hard lines on those things. And so and I've heard from other people too, some of my other queer peers, that is the same way. And so I think that it's maybe, I know for me it was like it was a little bit easier for me to explore those different facets of myself, and so that's one way that it has, you know, kind of like intertwined and affected me in being queer. I feel like it was easier, it kind of made it easier for me to explore many different many different factors of not just like my gender, but also my sexuality, all of those things. But unfortunately, what I have personally seen too is, like, there's still a lot of discrimination and stigma even within the queer community when it comes to neurodivergencies. Like, there's people that I've told that, you know, I'm queer or that I'm non-binary, that I haven't been like, hey, I'm also autistic, because I don't think, you know, well, for some people, some of them, I know that the reaction wouldn't be the same for those two things, especially when bringing up the notion of self-diagnosis. And I think that that's another really interesting thing to look at and talk about, because just like being queer in general and being marginalized in that way is already makes it more of a hurdle for us to do things like get access to assessments or to professionals where we can get like those official diagnoses. Add being like femme presenting, add being black on top of that, and even like being disabled. All of those things make it a lot harder to get that care that you need, and especially to get that affirming care, right? Get that like queer affirming healthcare, because it is healthcare that we all deserve. And so, yeah, a lot of times people are truly unable to go for those official diagnoses, but that doesn't make their neurodivergencies any less valid, any less real. They are still real, even if you don't have a professional telling you, you know, like, hey, you gave me this money, here, I can give you this diagnosis. I think that it's completely possible to know enough about yourself to be able to make that assessment for yourself. So I will always say that self-diagnosis is for neurodivergency is like so valid, because we have to deal with so much when it comes to please don't, when it comes to being queer and neurodivergent. Oh my god, they're after me. Lucky Charms. I'm going away. Whee! Nope, can't catch me. I really need to find some healing stuff, because there's a lot of people over there. What's the circle looking like? Maybe we can find some heals over here at this little structure. It looked like there were two people shooting at me that were standing next to each other, but we are definitely in solos. But it also could have been somebody that they like hired. Okay, first of all, eat that. Take that. Do that. Heck yeah. You're so powerful. No heals. It's all right. Anything down here? No. Ooh, they brought the motocross bikes back. Let's get closer to the next circle. And like, I know I kind of like touched on it before, but another really important thing I think is, as a person who is like queer and neurodivergent, is to be able to connect with other people who are queer and neurodivergent. Oh, this place has been blown to heck. That's one of the main reasons how I was able to, you know, even begin to entertain the idea of being neurodivergent myself. And so not only was I able to get, you know, some great insight, some great resources, some great support from friends around me who, oh no, where's my motorcycle? Oh, Jesus, I just keep getting my butt handed to me. Zero, me too. No, me too. Like I got taken out by a bot. They all keep dancing on me. um but yeah, like being able to have friends that also shared those same things, being queer and neurodivergent, uh has made such an impact on my life as well, not only in the process of excuse me, of diagnosis, but also in the after process, in, you know, learning tools and resources that helped me to function better, helped us to function better, being able to keep ourselves accountable in ways that worked for us, and just being able to connect through our different experiences, you know, even in sharing those marginalities, our experiences were as the same as they were different. And I think that that's really important too. Everybody picking on me. Oop. It's gotta load. So that's good. See, everybody's beating me up. My dog has come over to say hello. Hi, Peter. Please don't pull out my cords again. And then, like, another thing that makes it really difficult to get access to this care too is like the money. The money. It's expensive. And not something that like all insurances are going to cover. It's not something that is feasibly accessible to a lot of people. A lot of people. And that's why we, you know, turn to delving into educating ourselves and all we can about it, and finding out how those things implement into or reflect our own life experiences. Which is why I think it's really important for us to always keep in mind that, like, we all know somebody who is neurodivergent. All of us. And most of us probably all know somebody who is queer and neurodivergent. Was that really one of the training dudes from Attack on Titans? Where'd you go? Yeah. Where was it? I saw it. It's too far away. Someone in here too. Ooh. Nice. What's over there? Let's go check it out. This has got to be one of the Attack on Titan quests. Oh, do I need to do one of the things, or do I need to just hit it with this? It's hard to aim. Maybe that's not what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. Maybe I should look at the quests, huh? Damage opponent with airborne. Da, 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 da. Hit only. Do. don't know. I probably have to have some of the OEM gear though. Let's see if I can find any in here. Upstairs, maybe? Nope. Maybe down? Ooh, someone left a sniper in here. I'm gonna take it instead of the shotgun. Oh, a blue cobra too? This first. Hi! Let me make sure I see your name right. Is it JR Clack? Welcome in, friend. Yeah, I'd rather use these than use the splashies right away. Yeah, I probably need the gear to do that, or maybe the katana. Should just find the quest that it belongs to. Just barely outside the circle. Oh, what do you know? There's some gear. Might as well. Okay, but do you hover and then attack? Is that how that works? We're gonna figure this out. I don't get it. I'm gonna figure it out. Let me do my augments. Nope, too far. Hey, I got one. Where are all the other ones? What's this over here? I didn't really get to use the lock-on pistol too much, but I think I'll play around with it later. Really? Thought I heard someone. We'll go this way. Also, for anybody that is just coming in, hello, my name is lookitslyrica, and I'm an ambassador for the It Gets Better project. And there's a bunch of us creators who are also ambassadors, and all wonderful, wonderful people. And we get to come onto It Gets Better's Twitch page and talk about some of our experiences with being queer and you know, like being marginalized in multiple ways, and just all of our experiences surrounding that and being a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Let's take this. My pronouns are they, them, and she. You can put your pronouns in the chat if you feel comfortable doing so. I will always, always, always be a proponent of that, so we can greet you with love and with kindness. I'm going to buy this from you, sir. Take that. There we go. And today we're just playing some Fortnite, and we're talking about my experience with being a queer and neurodivergent, and like specifically what my experience is being like being somebody who is queer and autistic. I'll leave that for now. And let's do a reroll. Let's do one more reroll. I hear a lot of shooting up there. And we'll do one more. Yeah, I will take that. All right. These go a lot slow, like the dirt bikes are really what I want. See, is the main circle gonna be? Whoop. Is the main circle gonna be in the city? Hey, buddy. I will take that and that and all of this. Cool. Do we want to upgrade? Yeah, sure, why not? I would like to get up somewhere relatively high. That. Let's see how far on the other side of the city we can get. Also, if anybody would like to get more information about the It Gets Better project, you can do !info in the chat at any time, and our !donate will send you a link to It Gets Better's Tiltify. So if you're thinking of sending some money towards the It Gets Better project, you can definitely do that through their Tiltify. I'm going. Another thing, like personally for me, when like looking at being autistic and queer, it really made a difference with like my coming out journey too, and just in the way I socialize and what like having conversations with other people looks like for me. You should leave. And because like having conversations is sometimes tough for me, that also made my experiences a little different. I'd say like even though I felt like it made it a little easier for me to personally explore my identities, I did struggle with like figuring out how to tell people, figuring out like how to start that conversation or what that looks like. And so it often left me in a position of kind of just avoiding it, which wasn't great, but it was also, that was a part of it for me. And it was definitely linked to being neurodivergent for me. I want to take those and we're going to get out of here. Let me get up there, please. Thank you. Can I hire this person? No. Wait. Also, y'all, if you are not following the It Gets Better Project channel, which is where I'm streaming off of right now, please consider giving them a follow. There's so many other creators on here that are making great content and talking about important things as well. Did you light that place on fire? Did I light that place on fire? I don't know what happened. Thank you so much for that follow. I don't think they're too far away for me to see. Yes. I would love to have an extra sniper bullet. Let's just see what's in here real quick. This place has already pretty much been picked through. All right, let's try to get up somewhere high. Ah, so there's somebody there. Good to know. There's only 6 people left. Also good to know. I think this might be as high up as I'm gonna be able to get. Oop, I think I just lost one of my blades. All right. Yeah, let's take the zip line over here. Also, thank you so much for those commands in chat. All right, let's see. What is over here? Well, these are pretty much done, so might as well. Okay, we got 4 people left. Thought I saw somebody up here. I do see somebody up here. Okay. I'll make my way over. You can do it. Thank you. I believe. Okay, wait. Creeping, crawling. I'm I'm doing it for the queers. I'm doing it for the neurodivergent queers. Hey, that's me. Hey, you. You're hurt. That's important. Your circle's real small. I don't know how that's gonna work for you. Yeah. Okay, I see one person underneath the bridge. Somebody over here. Let's see if I can get him. This is gonna be interesting. If I can see their person. Yeah, okay, they're over in that. Over there. Okay. Let's see if I can get on top of here. Ooh, that circle is tiny. Where's she at? I hope she's got Heelys. This is a good place to be. I very much could go after her. I'm gonna maybe get rid of the sniper because I don't think that's going to serve me here. Hey, I see them in the window. Gonna jump back down. We're gonna have to. This is so wild. There's gonna be no safe spot left. I might be able to survive on pure I don't know. Yeah, y'all fight each other. Y'all go do the thing. Interesting. Ah, did we do it? We did it! Oh my goodness. My heart's a racing. Y'all, we did it. We did it for the neurodivergent queers. Look, look. Maid in chat said you can do it, and we did it. Heck yeah, I know you can't hear the song, but it's a good one. Nice, friends. That was a nice Vicky. And just in time for us to do our first break, too. All right, cool. I will take us back here. Hello. Hi. We are getting ready for our first break. GG's. Thank you. I appreciate it. GG's for everybody. We are going to get ready for our first break here. Give everybody a little bit of time to stretch, to get something to eat or drink if you need to, do whatever it is you need to. And then we're going to come back and play some more games. And we're also going to talk a little bit more about being queer and neurodivergent. So stick around, friends. We'll see you in a bit.